What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the rest of my 2021 NFL season predictions, 2021-2022 NFL season predictions. I just didn't want to do every single team, so this is the rest of it. I did the AFC North and the AFC and some of the AFC South, so it didn't last very long, but I'm going to be going over every team and doing the NFL playoffs. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm going to be starting doing other videos like college football predictions, but I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get into it. To start it off, I may make some changes throughout the video, but this is all my opinion. I mean, I know many of you are not going to, not everyone's going to completely agree with me. And other people are going to have other opinions, but just know that it's just my opinion. But let's get into it. Starting off, I got the Chiefs getting the 1 seed with 15-2. The Chiefs, you look at their schedule. The Chiefs are the most talented team in for the regular season in the AFC. As of right now, they've still got the same team. They improved the O line a bit, but they still are a good team despite may not being as dominant as they were in their Super Bowl winning season a few years ago, but they still got Tyreek Hill, they still got Kelsey, and of course Patrick Mahomes. And I just don't think I think they're gonna the Browns are gonna knock them off, catch them off guard in Week 1. I think the Chargers will beat them in Week 15. The Browns will get the second seed with 13-4. They were very talented last season. Now I could see the Baltimore Ravens possibly making a push in winning the division, but I don't need to see what other games the Ravens could win here. But the Browns, I got 13-4. Same with the Bills. I think they're two evenly matched teams. Titans, the addition of Julio Jones really just put them as that 12-5 division winner. We didn't really know who the division winner was. I originally had the Colts. Julio Jones made them the clear division winner. So I'm going to give Titans 12-5. And then those were the division winners. My New England Patriots at the 5 seed, you can say all you want. The New England Patriots went 7-9 last season while losing 3 games on the last drive of the game. One of them they were 1 yard short of winning, but 3 games they lost on the last drive, and one they lost due to bad officiating and their quarterback being out with COVID-19. But the Patriots, they improved. They got so much better this offseason. They added a bunch of key players. They brought in help in the receiving core and tight end. They brought in some defensive help. They brought in their QB of the future, Mac Jones, and Christian Barmore, who's a great defensive nose tackle. So the Patriots, I think they could for sure go 12-5. I could also see 11-6. I could see them losing to the Colts. I could see them possibly losing to the Saints. So there's definitely some losable games in there. The Chargers, 11-6. I like the Chargers a lot. I think they're a great team. Last year they didn't have the greatest year, but this year Justin Herbert just got that much better. He knows the playbook better, and he's gonna have. I think the Chargers, they improved the O line a ton, so that was their biggest need. But the Chargers, I think, will be 11-6. The 7 seeds, it's a question mark because it could go to any of these 3 teams. Hey, even the Steelers could get in, even the Broncos. But I think it's between the Colts, Ravens, and Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, you look at their schedule, this game's going to decide most of it. If they beat the Ravens, then the Dolphins, it's a lose-lose. If the Ravens win, then they don't get in the playoffs. If the Dolphins win, they get in the playoffs. But it's a lose-lose for the Ravens. It's a lose for the Ravens. But the Ravens, if they win, I think the Dolphins could beat the Ravens. It's just I think the run and attack will be able to catch the Dolphins off guard. And I think Xavier Howard wants the money of a guy like Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, or someone a big player like that. He doesn't deserve that money. So Xavier Howard could be getting traded, and that would really bump down the defense. But I don't think the Dolphins are a playoff team. I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is their franchise quarterback. I don't like what he did last season. He wasn't comfortable. He didn't look like a comfortable NFL quarterback. He was staying in the pocket too long, holding on to the ball. It took too many sacks. Dolphins, they don't have a good O-line either. They had a good defense, but they just don't have a lot of big names. So I think the Dolphins, they improve the wide receiver core, but I think they'll go 10-7, and I think inevitably the Colts will go 10-7. I think Frank Reich will develop Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz will be able to have a major bounce back season. Defense very underrated, O-line very good, running game very good. The receiving core is the only question mark, but other than that, I like the Colts, and I'm going to have them as my 7 seed. So we talked about those three teams. Now the Steelers don't have an impressive offense, and they're not a playoff team anymore. Big Ben is now called Little Ben, but it's the offense, all right? The wide receiving core, Juju and Claypool need to focus. They're worrying too much about their TikTok account and how much followers they have. And Deontay Johnson just can't catch, okay? So when you have a receiving core like that, it's not good. Big Ben isn't impressive. And Najee Harris, I love Najee Harris. He's such an impressive running back. But Najee Harris can't run the ball if he's not protected by an offensive line. And they didn't improve the offensive line at all. They cut David DeCastro. They cut Alejandro Villanueva. Marquise Pouncey retired. I don't like the Steelers for the playoffs, but I think 10 is fine. The 11 seed, the Broncos. Broncos, they just need a quarterback. They're a quarterback away from probably being a 10-7, 11-6 team. And they also could use some receiving core, some help in the receiving core. And then for the Raiders, the Raiders, they lost a lot of offensive weapons. They don't have a receiving core anymore. I mean, they lost Nelson Aguilar. They lost a lot of pieces on their offensive line. So the Raiders, their offense is extremely weak. Their defense isn't impressive either. Of course, they brought in Yannick Ngakoue. They brought in Casey Hayward. It's just I don't think the Raiders are an impressive team. Give me 4-13. And then the Bengals. Bengals still a question mark offensively and defensively. Offensively, I like Joe Mixon. I like the receiving core. I like Joe Burrow. It's just I think the Raiders, Bengals, and Jags are just they're not there yet. Jets, same thing with the Jets. Three of these teams are rebuilding in a good way. The Raiders are kind of just starting their rebuild. And then the Texans, they're a mess. We don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Inevitably, the Texans will be the worst team in the league. But now up to the NFC, the Buccaneers 16-1. They have a very easy schedule. They got a stacked roster, no doubt about it. The Rams 13-4. I like the Rams a lot. They brought in Matthew Stafford, have a great defense. The Rams are going to be in the top of the NFC. The Packers and the Vikings, who will win the NFC North. As of right now, Aaron Rodgers is still on the Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers, but that doesn't mean the Packers will get farther than the Vikings. I like the Packers a little bit more roster-wise than the Vikings. I mean, they got the better quarterback, got the better receiving core, better receiver in Devontae Adams, but I think this division could go either way, but the Packers at 3 seed, I like it. The Washington football team, I'm going 9-8. I mean, they were 7-9 last year, and they brought in Curtis Samuel, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jamin Davis, and William Jackson. That's not going to make them a 4-win team. That's not going to make them 4 wins better. I think the football team 9-8 is just fine, and they will win their division. Cardinals at the 5 seed, I like what they did. They were a good team last year. They just they fell apart at the end because Kyler Murray got injured. That the game that decided if they would go to the playoffs. But they're a great team overall. They brought in J.J. Watt. They brought in Rodney Hudson. They brought in A.J. Green. They brought in Matt Prater. They brought in pretty much an elderly apartment complex to their roster as all over 30-year-olds, but they're still productive players. And I think the Cardinals definitely will be a great team, and I think they'll be 12-5. Vikings 12-5. You've heard this probably before, but the Vikings, they had the 5th-ranked defense in 2019. In 2020, Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr, Michael Pierce, and many more were injured, yet they had a bottom defense in the league. All those guys are back. Plus, they added Bashad Breeland, I believe, and they added Patrick Peterson. They've added defensive help. All those guys are going to be back. The Vikings will be a top defensive team this year, just like they were in 2019. And overall, the Vikings, they're a good team offensively. Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, two great receivers. Kirk Cousins isn't a bad quarterback. They got a good coach. They improved the O-line. Give me the Vikings as 6 seed. And then I have the 49ers fringe making the playoffs, 7 seed. 11-6, they were injured a lot of last season. By week 8, pretty much all their guys were back except for Nick Bosa. But they brought in Trey Lance. I like what they're doing, and I think the 49ers will barely make the playoffs. As for the Saints, I mean, if Jameis starts, I could see them making the playoffs possibly. But Jameis isn't going to start. Let's be honest. Taysom's starting for them. And Taysom just doesn't hold on to the ball well. Taysom Hill is not a very good starting quarterback. He's a great all-around player, but not as a quarterback. So I think Taysom Hill and the Saints, they're not going to be able to adapt to Drew Brees. Drew Brees really was clutch. He was good in clutch situations, but he's not that good of an upgrade. But overall the Saints they got Michael Thomas. Other than that, they don't really have that good of a receiving core. The defense overall is good, but it's not great. And then the Cowboys, they have a stacked team. They just have some holes in the O-line, the interior O-line. Dak Prescott, we don't know how he'll come back. He's looking like he's coming back well, but we still don't know. And then overall, Ezekiel Elliott, will he be able to bounce back from last season? He didn't have the greatest season. The defense is atrocious. Will it be able to do a little bit better? They improved it just a tad with Micah Parsons and Keanu Neal. I think it will be better. And then Mike McCarthy is just a terrible coach. Not terrible, but he is not the same coach that he once was. And I think they will fire him after this year. The Cowboys aren't in a good situation. I think 8-9 is fair. The Seahawks 8-9 is a surprise, I would think, for most of you would think. I'm not impressed by the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's a fantastic quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are both fantastic receivers. Chris Carson is a good running back, an above-average running back. But other than that, the O-line is still weak, despite bringing in Gabe Jackson and Gerald Everett. They brought in won't do much, and then the O-line still isn't great. So Russell Wilson's going to get sacked a lot this season. Defensively, they lost a lot of defensive talent. They lost Shaquille Griffin, a great cornerback, and they lost Jaron Reed. He's a good defensive tackle. So they lost defensive help. They don't have a great defense. And other than Wilson, Carson, Metcalf, and Lockett, they don't really have that much of an impressive team. Pete Carroll's a great coach. 8-9 for the Seahawks. The Giants are 7-10. Last season, I think they were 6-11. They added Kenny Golladay and Adoree Jackson. That's not going to do it. That's not going to make them a playoff team. The Giants are not making the playoffs. Their O-line is still weak. Danny Dimes is not the answer. He's not a good starting quarterback. He doesn't hold on to the he has trouble holding on to the ball. And overall, Daniel Jones just isn't a starting caliber quarterback, in my opinion. Defense is underrated, but it's still not top tier. The Giants will go 7-10. The Panthers 7-10. I would like to see the Panthers. Yeah, I think the Panthers definitely could be better than 7-10. I could see them possibly sweeping the Saints. I could see them beating the Cowboys. And I think I'll have them beating the Cowboys. I'm going to have them beating the Cowboys. I like this Panthers team. They have a good defense. They have Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, Shaq Thompson. They brought in J.C. Horn. They got some great players. They brought in A.J. Bowie. So Dante Jackson they have Hassan Reddick they brought in. So the Panthers they don't have as bad as a defense. They improved the defense. Matt Rule is not a great coach, but offensively, Sam Darnold, will he be able to do well next season? Will he be able to take that step up? Because we all know the Jets wasn't a good situation. They had a bad coach. They had a bad surrounding roster. So will he be able to adapt to a better surrounding roster and better coach? I don't know. I think Sam Darnold definitely, if he does well, the Panthers team could be in the playoffs. But overall, I think 8-9 is fair. They got Christian McCaffrey. Will he be able to come back from his injury well? And then, of course, they got a good receiving core, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. They brought in Terrence Marshall and David Moore. And the O-line, it's getting there, but it's still not insane. And as for the we talked about the Bears. I mean, they brought in Justin Fields, but they're not a great team. Besides that, Allen Robinson's good. David Montgomery, they still have a lot to do. And then the Eagles, they're a mess. I mean, the Eagles are a mess. They can't stay healthy from injuries. Questionable offense. The Falcons don't have a great defense at all. And they lost Julio Jones, so Matt Ryan will probably regress. And then the Lions are terrible. Now let's get to the playoffs. Wait, no, did I say Matt Ryan? No, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. It's just their surrounding team is terrible. But other than Calvin Ridley, it's not impressive. All right, the wild card round: Patriots and Titans. The rematch from 2 years ago. I'm going to go with the Patriots in the upset. I think Mac Jones will be starting by now, and I think the Patriots, if the defense can stay alive, that's a tough one to do because the Titans, the offense is so good. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry. If they can shut down Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, I think they can afford to allow Derrick Henry to get 100, 150 rushing yards. And I think they'll be able to narrowly win this one. It's going to be a close one, but I got 30-27. Patriots win. Bills, Chargers. I'm going to go Bills. Herbert doesn't have the playoff experience. Bills, I think, finally will be able to get into the playoffs far. And this is the year for the Bills. The Colts and Browns, I'm going to go with the Browns. The Colts, they're scary. They're an underrated team. But I'm going to go with the Browns on the NFC side of the ball. NFC, I'm going to go Cardinals over the Washington football team. I like what the Cardinals have. They have a great defense, great offense. Packers and Vikings, gimme the upset. Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings overall are the better team. You can say what you want. I think the Packers era is over. The Rams will beat the 49ers. And that is your wildcard weekend divisional round. Bills, Browns. I'm going to go the Bills. The Browns kind of have a curse on them. I mean, they've been terrible for so many years. I can't take the Browns. I think the Bills, they have a Super Bowl curse, but I think the Bills overall, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, so many good players on that offense. And then defensively, it's not great, but it's good. Patriots and my Chiefs will take out the Patriots. No, I can't believe I just said that. My Patriots will get taken out by the Chiefs. Nothing you can say about it. I mean, Patriots had a good run. They have a bright future, but as of right now, I can't take them. Cardinals and Rams. I'm going to go Rams. It's going to be a close one. But the Rams, they just got too many studs on defense. Good offense. Matthew Stafford will be going to his first NFC championship. Minnesota Vikings and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers will win that conference game. The conference championship, the Chiefs and the Bills, the rematch, the Bills will win this. The Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen will outplay Patrick Mahomes, and the Bills will win 35-33 in Arrowhead Stadium. And then the Bucs and the Rams. Give me the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers it's not an upset. The Buccaneers, Tom Brady has so many good pieces around him. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, as well as O.J. Howard, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, a great O-line, a great coach. On defense, we all know how scary that defense is. And in Super Bowl 56, the Bills and the Buccaneers will be going back-to-back. In SoFi Stadium, the Buccaneers will win. Tom Brady will go back-to-back. Will this be the end of Tom Brady? Who knows? Nah, Tom Brady's going to play till he's 50, I bet. But there is my playoffs. The playoffs. The Patriots beat the Titans. Chiefs beat the Patriots. Chiefs beat the Bills. And then Buccaneers beat the Bills. And then I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And there is my NFL predictions. They are now over. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And tell me who you think will win the Super Bowl next year. I think Super Bowl MVP will be Tom. You know what? I'm gonna go with Rob Gronkowski as the Super Bowl MVP. I think he'll go off, and I think he'll be turned into his old self, and I think he'll have about 110 receiving yards with about 2 touchdowns. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.